ating lupa na kay ganda, itim ang mga bulaklak, mga pusong puno ng galak. Lumipas ang mga araw, pananaw tila'y natuhunaw, kasakit may niyakap, kahit mga puno'y umiiyak. Buksan mo ang iyong mata at tingnan mo ang panaghol na kagubat ay lumuluhawa.
Creyentes y no creyentes, estamos de acuerdo en que la tierra es una herencia común cuyos frutos deben beneficiar a todos. Sin embargo, ¿qué pasa en el mundo donde vivimos? La relación entre la pobreza y la fragilidad del planeta requiere otro modo de ejercer la economía y el progreso, concibiendo un nuevo estilo de vida. Porque necesitamos una conversión que nos una a todos, liberarnos de la esclavitud del consumismo. Y este mes te hago una petición especial: que cuidemos de la creación recibida como un don que hay que cultivar y proteger para las generaciones futuras. Cuidar la casa común.
Magandang hapon sa inyo mga kaibigan, and welcome sa isa namang episode ng The Boses ng Kalikasan. Boses ng Kalikasan Live. Ito po ang ating Season 2, Episode 17. At ngayong araw na ito, magkakaroon tayo ng konting update sa COP27. 30 years na po ito nangyayari, at isi-share namin sa inyo itong video na pinroduce ng UN Panel on Climate Change o UNFCCC tungkol sa ano na ba nangyari 30 years no in addressing climate change. So ang nakakatuwa dito mga kaibigan, sa loob ng 30 years na yon, we are at the worst, no? So anong nangyari, anong ginawa ng mga bansa, at we are still at the worst stage, and we are in danger of tipping point, no? We have tried to invite some of the people from the Philippines who are in Egypt, pero may problema daw sa internet connection, lalo yung mga kabataan natin na in-interview natin last week. And also later on, we will be inviting everyone, no, on November 16, that's a Wednesday. We will be having a mobilization, and we are inviting everyone to join us for the global climate strike. We are trying to make this one of the biggest climate strikes in the Philippines and in the world. Magsama-sama tayo, nasaan man kayo. grupo man kayo, nasa bahay man kayo, we will find a way for you to participate and join in this global climate strike, no? Bakit natin kailangan mag-climate strike? Mamaya, pag-uusapan natin yan. Pero isa sa maliwanag, sapagkat mga kaibigan, the Philippines is one of the most vulnerable countries in the whole world when it comes to the effects of climate change. Plus, ito ang pinakamatindi, tayo po ay nangunguna sa least prepared countries pagdating sa mga natural disasters. No. Ibig sabihin, if natural disaster occurs, nako po, tayo ay hindi handa sa mga ito. So, yan po ang nakakatakot mga kaibigan. Ito po naman nangyayari sa Egypt na COP27 started November 6 and ends November 18. We are looking forward na may mangyari na, may aksyon na gawin, maging mandatory. Pero when I attended the meeting yesterday sa coordinating team nitong Global Climate Strike kasama Philippine Movement for Climate Justice, mukhang kinokordo na naman ang mga member ng civil society organizations. Meaning, they are not being allowed to participate in some of the high-level discussions happening in Egypt. So ano ba yung mga nangyari mga kaibigan sa loob ng 30 years?
My biggest surprise was
30 years na pagkampanya para matugunan ang climate change issue. Alamin natin, panoorin natin tong video ito. 30 years na tayong nagtatalakay, sila pala, nagtatalakayan yung mga leaders ng mga bansa. Pero, with all honesty, may nangyayari ba? O mas lumalala pa? Eto mga kaibigan, panoorin po.
my biggest surprise was being asked to do the job. It was a welcome surprise, a happy accident, if you like.
My biggest surprise was to notice how, when I was able to go beyond the head-to-head conversation and have a heart-to-heart conversation, how do we turn up in the world as humans? Those conversations were transformative.
What is very clear is that there is nothing, absolutely nothing that you can achieve if you are acting alone.
I was there for the adoption of the convention. 92, I was there for the adoption of the Kyoto Protocol. There was a lot of backroom dealing and putting people together and keeping people out. And in the end, the masterly chairperson of the negotiations, 𝘥𝘰𝘮𝘮 of Argentina, brought his hammer down, and I was happy. My friends and colleagues were happy.
I think the time in Bali when we managed to agree the Bali Action Plan, because that was really the moment when we tore down the Berlin Wall of climate action, when we really said, yes, it's definitely true that industrialized countries cause this problem. It's definitely true that industrialized nations need to take their responsibility and to help poorer brothers and sisters to engage on this topic and change their economic model.
How does one reconcile the need to act against climate change with the need to get out of poverty? And that is still an underlying issue as we go along. How does one address the environmental problem, to call it that, at the same time as allowing people, encouraging people, permitting people to get out of absolute poverty? That, to me, has always been the fundamental issue.
At the end of the day, we can only succeed together. We all need to engage. Our challenge is a negotiating process, and our challenge as a secretariat, which facilitates that, is to find the way to do that, to enable that global engagement.
I had the pleasure of assuming the responsibility for the international negotiations 6 months after Copenhagen, and it was a very dark moment for climate. And I think there was a conclusion that a global treaty on climate would never be possible. In fact, I remember clearly that at my first press conference, someone asked me, a journalist asked me, so Ms. Figueres, do you think a global climate agreement will ever be possible? And I said, no, not in my lifetime. There was a general conclusion that it would not be possible. So I remember leaving the press conference room having decided that I would prove myself wrong, and that I would dedicate my efforts and all of my focus to making a global agreement possible.
There's a saying in the English language, and probably in many other languages as well, that where there is a will, there is a way. And I felt throughout my UNFCCC tenure and ever since that we need to turn that saying around and in fact maybe conclude that where there is a way, there is a will. What I mean by that is that I feel that there is today pretty much a universal commitment to the challenge of climate change and the need to act on it, but that many political leaders and many corporate leaders and many people in the public don't yet see the way. They don't yet see how they can act on this global challenge of climate change, while at the same time grow their economies, protect their lifestyles, win the next election, or get the corporate bonus that they're hoping for. So a big part of the challenge that's still ahead of us, I think, is to show that it is actually possible to do what we all feel is morally right.
Without trust, there is no possibility of having collective action. And in a process that involves almost 200 countries with such diverse realities and also multiple stakeholders from different entities, that means that you find very frequently competing interests. But at the same time, in order to make this common sense of action prevail, you need to find the right balance between the interests of all those actors. And that is required in order to preserve trust.
The phase that we're in is very much the era of action and understanding how we can actually do what we all feel we need to be doing. And one of the important things to think about is how the role of the UNFCCC changes in the context of those different phases. And I very much see the challenge of the Secretariat, of the process, of the people that attend the COPs in networking to build the possible.
We have strengthened what we call inclusive multilateralism, which is making the process more inclusive, allowing many stakeholders from different areas to participate actively. I think this is very important, not only because the transformation that needs to happen requires to have every single person on board, but also because it is necessary that they get a sense of ownership of the process. It is not only the governments. The governments alone cannot get this transformation.
The moment I will never forget is the moment the gavel came down when Minister Fabius brought the gavel down on the adoption of the Paris Agreement. And it took me a few seconds to internalize that was it, that the Paris Agreement had been adopted. And then as I jumped out of my seat, I locked eyes with two sets of people. One was my two daughters sitting in the front seat, and the second was the Secretariat staff that was lining the plenary hall way in the back. And I was just filled with such gratitude for the unbelievable work that those people had done during years. And I knew that this was very likely the most important moment for them as well.
the positive things I see coming out of the post-Paris process is the broadening of engagement, more and more parties, more and more players becoming involved, and the UNFCCC process becoming much less a sort of closed-door intergovernmental thing and much more an open process that allows multiple societal players to engage.
Today, the participation of many stakeholders is just par for the course. We are seeing so much more transition capacity outside of national governments. We had so many different coalitions that came together in order to support governments. That was the whole point. It wasn't to criticize governments or blame them or hit them over the head. Quite the contrary. It was to support the efforts of governments. And today that has grown into being a very well accepted and very highly frequented part of COPs and of course throughout the year.
Climate change is not just a matter for the environment minister. Climate change is for the whole government. It affects the whole way that the economy and society works. Governments get their act together, especially the major emitters, and steer the economy in the right direction. There's hope, but it will take time. The other side is a much greater emphasis on accountability, on making sure that people are doing what they are saying that they are doing. And that isn't just governments, it would have to extend beyond.
I am convinced that addressing climate change in a timely fashion is not a matter of faith or hope. It is a matter of decision. It is a matter of choice. It is a matter of courage. It is a matter of standing up precisely because we've run out of time. It's about standing up, having the courage precisely at these moments when we have so much bad news that is pouring over us. This is the moment when we have that responsibility. Every single one of us who is alive, and especially alive as an adult right now, has the responsibility to stand up and show up and do what needs to be done. So this is not about hope. This is about courage. This is about doing what needs to be done.
Wala akong masabi dun sa last na sinabi niya, mga kaibigan, no? Kasi actually, yan, 30 years na yung nakakaraan. Napakaganda nung last statement, no, na sinabi, no, na ulitin lang natin, no. Sabi niya, it's a matter of decision, it's a matter of choice, it's a matter of courage, it's a matter of standing up. Kasi napakahalaga, no? It's more on taking courage, no, to do the right thing. Kasi I think we have this. I had this discussion earlier, no, in the morning na sabi ko mag-mobilize tayo. Let's ask people to, to participate, and then somebody told me na tatanungin ng communities, ng mga local on the ground, ano yung makapala nila pag sumali sila dyan, what's in it for them. And I realized that it's still the existing culture, no? Wherever we go, most of the people would ask, makapala ba ako pag, for example, on our mobilization for the global climate strike, anong makapala ko dyan pag pumunta ako? Meron ba akong makakain dyan? Meron bang provided na tubig? Meron bang provided na ganito? Transportation, etc., etc. And then, nag-post ako, sabi ko, hindi ba dahil may problema tayo na existential crisis that we should do, we need to realize that this is our responsibility to really participate, join, and mobilize, because ang mapapala natin dito ay ang isang magandang bukas, no, that we deserve to give to the next generation. ito yung maganda po sa campaign ng environment. No? This is not a uh, political quarrel. This is a quarrel for a brighter and greater future. Kasi gusto natin lahat na may mga punong matitira. Na yung ating titirahan na mundo sa next generation, sabi ko nga kanina, no, kausap ko yung wife ko, at some point, no, with everything that's happening, with some people, parang sasama kasi cool, oh cool environment, oh, cool, let's plant trees and everything, then later on mawawala. Sabi ko, hayaan na lang natin kasi like me, I'm already 45 years old, perhaps by the time na alam mo yun, nagkasira-sira, hindi na matirahan yung mundo, I will not even be there. Diba, hindi ko na mararanasan. So, mas maganda siguro mag-enjoy na lang ako sa buhay ko, mag-travel, mag-party and everything. But then, no, is that really the right thing to do, to really live pabayaan yung susunod na generasyon, pabayaan mag-suffer yung mga anak natin, yung mga apo natin? Siguro for some, no, for most, I would not say for some, kasi marami talaga pa rin ang walang pakialam, no, sa issue na ito. Like for example, yung post ko na lang nga sa TikTok about sa kaliwadan, marami ang walang pakialam na masira man yan, okay lang, as long as may tubig tayo, as long as may progress tayo. Diba? We need progress, we need roads, we need, marami pa rin sa atin, mga kababayan, na hindi nakaka-realize na this issue of the environment is critical, it is very important, and we need to really do something about it. No, kaya nga po, I am very thankful, no, na despite, no, yung mga circumstances natin, despite the limitations that we have on finances and everything, andito pa rin ang boss ng Kalikasan, andito pa rin ang 𝘺𝘰𝘮𝑗 Week, and we continue to participate. And I'm very thankful to organizations na patuloy sa atin nagtitiwala. Andiyan ang Rotary Club Alabang Madrigal Business Park, andiyan siyempre ang Green Convergence, which the members elected us as part of the Board of Trustees. So maraming salamat. Of course, the Green Party of the Philippines, and of course, the Bayanihan para sa Kalikasan Movement. Kaya nga mga kaibigan, if we want really to stand up and to tell the world that, climate matters, that we need to do action, and that this government needs to do something about it, we need to mobilize, we need to speak out, we need to to join the global climate strike and protest for what's not being done. But at the same time, mga kaibigan, we also need to help our government. Ito yung isa pa ring problema na kapag ayaw natin sa government, ay wala tayong gagawin kundi mag-criticize. Pero hindi ba duty rin natin, lalo na sa issue po ng kalikasan, na tulungan, na ma-realize ng mga nakaupo sa pwesto na mahalaga ang bagay na pinaglalaban natin. Kung wala silang alam, tulungan natin silang ma-educate. No? Through the civil society groups, let's lend our support to the government right now who seems to just bubble out the issue about climate change, about disaster and everything. Tulungan natin na ma-realize kung paano ang dapat gawin. Bakit kailangan ng green architecture sa mga pabahay na gagawin? Bakit kailangan ng well-coordinated efforts sa National Disaster Risk Reduction Management? Bakit dapat integrate yung mga climate resilient homes and everything? Bakit kailangan yung ma-push ang renewable energy? Kailangan nating tulungan din ang government, no? For the environment, for the issue of the environment, personal quarrels is secondary. We need to unite and we need to call for unity. We need to strike because we also need to have unity na panahon na para sama-sama po tayong pabilis. At ano po mangyayari mga kaibigan? So far, finalize pa lang po ang details, pero ang Global Climate Strike ay mangyayari po ito sa November 16, no? And I will be flashing on your screen ito pong mga numbers, no? Pwede nyo i-coordinate nasaan man kayo sa Pilipinas, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. You can join the Global Climate Strike. This is being organized, headed by the Philippine Movement for Climate Justice. Sa mga kaibigan, i-press ko sa inyong screen ang details ng ating Global Climate Strike. Ayan. Okay, let me show you on the screen. Ayan, ang ating Global Climate Strike on November 16, 2022. So, sasama-sama po tayo. Ito po ang mga pwede ninyo kontakin, mga kaibigan. For those who want to join, yan, you can coordinate with Global Climate Strike PMCJ coordination. So, pwede nyo po kontakin si APNDD 𝘤𝘰𝘮 sa 0906-032299 or 𝘤𝘰𝘮𝘮@gmail.com, 𝘤𝘰𝘮@gmail.com, o kay Larry Pascua ng PMCJ sa Larry Pascua PMT 2100@gmail.com, or through the PMCJ Secretariat, pmcjsecretariat@climatejustice.ph. For Mindanao, you can coordinate with Rara at rarahada@gmail.com, or send her a message at 0915-052-2747. And for Visayas, you can coordinate with Maria Estela Vasquez at 0949-645-1577. Email vasquezmaria@gmail.com. So guys, if you have organizations, I am personally inviting you to participate in the upcoming Global Climate Strike. This will be happening on November 16. It's a Wednesday, and the theme is No Tomorrow Without Climate Justice Today. And ito rin po yung details. If you want to be part of the biggest climate action strike for 2022, get in touch with PMCJ Secretariat, Climate Justice at climatejustice.ph, or send a message to Larry at 0917-509-8371 or Glenn at 0906-0322299. So guys, magsama-sama po tayo. Let's participate in the Global Climate Strike, biggest climate action strike for 2022. No tomorrow without climate justice today. Kailangan po nating magkaisa, mga kaibigan. Kailangan nating magsama-sama kasi we are running out of time in our fight for a better future. Let us save ourselves. Let us save the future of humanity by protecting and preserving the environment. Kailangan po natin ito, mga kaibigan. So yung po mga updates naman sa COP27, we will be having the interview, you'll be having special guests probably after the COP27 kasi nga nagkakaproblema sila sa internet. We'll be inviting them here at tatanungin natin sila personally yung ano ba yung kanilang mga naranasan at mga perspective, no, tungkol sa nangyaring global yung COP27 dyan sa Egypt. And hopefully, no, by next year, no, COP28 on United Arab Emirates, we will be able to personally attend and deliver to you what's happening and what should be done. Kasi sabi nga ng Pakistan, no, I read in the news na ang nangyayari na dystopia is already here. It's already happening, and we need to prepare for it before it gets really worse, no. So mga kaibigan, may pag-asa. Next week we will be featuring kung ano-ano na yung mga nangyayari naman, ano yung mga nagawa. May pag-asa, no? As long as we have courage, as long as we pursue moving forward, kaya natin. Thus, humanity can survive, humanity can do this, and humanity can make it better. Huwag po tayo mawala ng pag-asa, sapagkat sa oras po na yan ang mawala, ay kawawa po ang susunod na generasyon. So, maraming salamat, mga kaibigan, muli sa inyong pagtangkilik sa Boses ng Kalikasan live. At doon po sa mga gustong sumuporta sa atin, mga kaibigan, you can always send stars or you can subscribe to our Facebook page. So, may link po dyan sa description, and also you can send your support via our GCASH or PAYMAYA. That's 0998-8830735 to David D'Angelo. And of course, sa mga gusto pong sumama sa ating Green Movement makiisa, just visit our website, greenparty.ph/join. Yan, maraming salamat mga kaibigan. See you again next week, no? Next Friday, 5 p.m. dito sa Boses ng Kalikasan Live. And of course, we will be joining the Global Climate Strike, and we will be posting more updates kung paano po kayo makakasali, even a registration, no, for the Global Climate Strike, as we wait for the full information from the Philippine Movement for Climate Justice. Maraming po salamat mga kaibigan, at have a great and happy weekend. Till next week. Paalam.
With further warming in the coming years, we expect to see new extremes that are unprecedented in magnitude, frequency, timing, or in regions that have never encountered those types of extremes.
You've been telling us for over 3 decades of the dangers of allowing the planet to warm. The world listened, but didn't hear.
It is unequivocal that human influence has warmed the atmosphere, ocean, and the land. We confirm that human-caused emissions of greenhouse gases are the main driver of global warming.
Climate change is here now, but we are also here now. And if we don't act, who will?
Pilipinas, pagkain man o pagyaman, biyahe man kung saan saan, kahit pa sino pa ang iyong angkan. Wazzup Pilipinas! Wazzup Pilipinas! Halina at libutin ang ating mundo. Wazzup Pilipinas! Aming ibibigay ang inyong gusto. Wazzup Pilipinas! Ang show na ito'y para lang sa inyo. Wazzup Pilipinas? Tutok na sa Wazzup Pilipinas. Libutin ang mundo, kainin ang gusto. Alamin ang tamang daan kung paano ka umasenso. Kasama ang buong tropa ng Wazzup Pilipinas. Aming ibibigay sa mata at ipapadanas ang saya ng Wazzup Pilipinas. Tutok na sa Wazzup Pilipinas. Ang saya dito sa Pilipinas. Ihahatid sa inyo ng Wazzup Pilipinas.
Managing Director of PhilGlobal Immigration Services Corporation, Mr. Bert Ian Ranis.
So, mayong hapon sa atong tanan. I'm originally from Bohol, so I'm very proud of that. And welcome to our 8 years anniversary of PhilGlobal Immigration. So let me just tell you a story as to how we started. So it all started when I was 24 years old. That was 10 years ago, mas sexier pa. And was like a dreamer like you guys. So nagsimula yun kasi I also attended an expo, an orientation to go abroad. But apparently, 10 years ago, hindi pa uso yung mga magagandang agency na talagang handang tumulong at ayusin yung mga buhay nila. So, ang nangyari, I went to Australia, I arrived there, pag-contact ko sa hospital because I'm a registered nurse, apparently, wala pong trabaho, wala pong aral. So, napabalik sa Pilipinas, 200,000 gone. Kasi average pricing ng agency dati was 150,000 eh. So when that happened, a lot of things and a lot of struggle, luckily naman ay nakapagtapos, pero out of 50 namin na estudyante that time, imagine, 3 lang kami na nakaswitch ng visa. Why? Because agencies back time in the Philippines doesn't really care. So simula nun, it was part of PhilGlobal's advocacy already, na talagang if ever gagawin namin to, we will help you from the point of your membership hanggang sa pag-alis nyo. Your airport pickup will be care of PhilGlobal, making sure na dadalhin ka sa tamang bahay nyo. Then we will help you get your spouses, because spouses can work unlimited full-time in Canada and Australia. They can earn 300,000 pesos. Ang ginagawa kasi ng ibang Pinoy, what they do is, ang maling ginagawa ng Pinoy is, umaalis, and then ginagamit ang tourist visa, na-offload sa NAIA, nagtatry na umalis ulit. Pagdating doon sa ibang bansa, ang sweldo, 30,000, around 40,000. But what will happen in the Middle East, most especially, we are not really treated like same sa kanila. We're like second-class citizens. Even if we work there for 20, 30 years, hindi tayo magkaroon ng papel. So, ang goal namin sa PhilGlobal is to give you the advocacy of study, to work, and to live abroad. And lahat naman tayo dito ay gustong bumalik sa Pilipinas kasi masaya naman dito eh. We have the comfort of our family. So tumutulong din kami ngayon as to how you can come back to the Philippines and build your new businesses. That's why we launched earlier GCASH, kasi GCASH will also be your financial friend to help you set up your businesses once you come back and get capital. So again, with PhilGlobal, ang gusto namin na sasabihin is lahat sana po ay magtatapos. Lahat po ay magkakatrabaho, and lahat po tayo ay magtatagumpay. So salamat po at magandang araw sa ating lahat.
Pinoy ako at kayo ang kakampi ko. Ito ang TVC8.
This is Global TV Network.